Let's get into the Roto World player news. And, of course, for all your Roto World player news, you can go to NBCSports.com. And where else to start? Listen, you know who drinks free today. It is Travis Kelce drafters that drink free today at the happy hour bar because they are sweet. You see Barry's reactions right now. They are sweating. And we're going to get into all that in just one moment here, Barry. But before we do, let's hear what Andy Reid had to say on the Travis Kelce situation for the opener.
As far as injuries go, Kelce hyperextended his knee today, so we'll just see how he does going forward.
Do you expect all those injured guys on your list?
I'll tell you what, with the injuries, I'll give them to you tomorrow, or game day, and I can't say it. Everybody's good to go. You'll see the acts when we get there.
Did you see what happened with Kelce when he got injured?
Yeah, it was right in front of me. Yeah.
Describe that.
Hyperextended his knee. Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay, good.
A very brief addressing.
Pretty happy to get out of there.
Yeah, that was the
Andrew?
fastest I've seen Andy Reid move in quite some time, I got to admit. And another reminder, Kelce drafters, you drink free today. I mean, Jay, this is a fantasy nightmare, I would call it, when you're looking at the opener. Now, obviously there are solutions, and we'll get to that in a second. I know Matthew posted some of them on Instagram already. But what is just your entire take on this situation?
I mean, the fact that it's a hyperextended knee, that's the description of what happened to it. It's not a description of the actual injury and the mechanism.
Right.
Is it a bone bruise? Is it a PCL? It seems like ACL has been ruled out.
Yes.
That was the absolute
intact
doomsday scenario. So I think that the most likely outcome is that I don't think he's going to play on Thursday night, and the betting market believes that as well. So the line has moved towards Detroit. I think it's probably going to be a 1 to 2 week thing, but we're just guessing at this point.
Matthew, from a pure fantasy roster standpoint, how do you handle this situation? Besides monitoring Kelce, what is your backup strategy if you are somebody that took him in the first round of a fantasy draft?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this, and honestly, it obviously depends on your league settings. First off, I agree with Jay. I think it's unlikely that he plays. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but my expectation here is that it's not. To Jay's point, by the way, it opened at -6.5. It's now Chiefs -4.5, and the total has dropped down to 52.5, where it opened at 55. So certainly the betting markets do not think Kelce's going to play, and it has a negative effect on the Chiefs' offense, which is sort of obvious there, right? What I would say is, the way I'm approaching this is, if you're picking a Chiefs tight end to start in place of Kelce, I think it's Noah Gray, who, had some success at college, has, had moments with the Chiefs as well. Remember, 31% of Mahomes' pass attempts last year went to the tight end position. Obviously, a lot of that is dictated because Travis Kelce is, Travis Kelce. All of that said, I'm probably not picking up Noah Gray unless I absolutely have to, and it's just a crazy deep league. What I would like to do is, if you have an IR spot, okay, great. Then you can put Kelce into the IR spot and see who's available on your waiver wire. Our week 1 ranks are up on NBCSports.com. You can sort of see who's the highest available player in your league. There's some guys out there that I think are interesting. By the way, if Mark Andrews misses, and we'll see if he practices today, but if Mark Andrews misses the game, Isaiah Likely against Houston becomes really interesting. But what I would do is, if I don't have an IR spot, so if I have an IR spot that's easy, then you just pick kind of the best available that's in your league, and you check out our rankings. But if you don't have an IR spot, then here's what I'm doing. I'm not panic dropping somebody good on my team to pick up a 1 week rental at tight end. What I would do is I would sort of ride it out. I would keep Kelce in my starting tight end spot, assuming he's the only tight end. And then I would sort of see how Sunday plays out, right? Because there's a chance, luckily, since he plays Thursday night, there's a chance that, in essence, you dominate on Sunday anyway, and you don't need to replace your tight end position. Or, conversely, you get your butt kicked, and it doesn't matter who you'd have in the tight end position. If it gets into Sunday night or Monday Night Football, and you're like, hey, I need a tight end, then hopefully you've configured your roster so that there is somebody that you can drop, and then you go pick up, somebody that's available in the Sunday night game. Waller's obviously taken in your game, but Jake Ferguson, the rookie tight end for the Cowboys, he's probably available in your league. You think about the Monday night game. Dawson Knox is available in about 70% of Yahoo leagues, so my expectation is he'd be out there for Monday night. Dalton Kincaid probably taken, but in case he wasn't drafted in your league, you can look at Kincaid for the Bills as well, and then Tyler Conklin on the Jets side. So that's what I would do if I didn't have an IR spot. I would sort of wait to see how Sunday played off and not drop somebody good for a 1 week rental. If we find out in the next day or two that it's going to be a multi-week injury for Travis Kelce, and so far the reports are positive, ACL's intact, there's some some tightness in the knee, and they're just waiting to for the swelling to go down. Assuming that's the case, great. But if it's going to be a multi-week injury, then you can pick up Noah Gray, who suddenly becomes a high-end tight end too for me.
Jay, outside of who this directly impacts, which is, of course, Travis Kelce, when you look at the rest of the Chiefs' offense, I mean, this is a lot of volume to go around if Kelce doesn't play, whether it's the target share, the touchdown equity. Where do you think the ball starts to go from Mahomes in this offense? Because a lot of people might say, hey, maybe just Noah Gray comes in and takes that over. But he's not going to take over the full workload that Kelce gives from the tight end position, as we show the Chiefs' career receiving touchdowns of guys on that roster right now. It's really Kelce with a whopper there at 85, MVS at 18, and then guys that haven't hit double digits.
Yeah, we saw in the playoffs when the Chiefs were seeing all their pass catchers go down that MVS kind of became the guy as just the entrenched vet who Mahomes had a good rapport with. I think we're going to see a lot more Sky Moore this season. We'll see what Kadarius Toney and his health is doing. But I think what they're going to do more is just run the ball. Because the Lions had a terrible rushing defense last year. We've seen the Chiefs in the second half of the season using Pacheco more, so I think it'll be a big Pacheco game. I have more confidence in that than any of those guys individually stepping up on Thursday night.
Barry, what about you? How do you look at this group? Especially, you have somebody like Jerick McKinnon that showed how much of an impact he can have on the pass game for this offense as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think actually you see a decent amount of McKinnon. It's weird. We know how Pacheco gets used, and also Clyde Edwards-Helaire played more than you would think in the preseason. So I wonder if it's kind of a three-headed monster and they just go run heavy in this game. Look, it's going to be a lot of guys. My expectation is that the starting pass catchers, you're going to have Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and then, maybe, Justin Watson and Richie James out there as well. Justin Ross, he'll have a little bit of a package as well. You'll get a package for Kadarius Toney. It is, as always, going to be death by 1,000 cuts when you face the Chiefs. If I had to pick somebody, I'm picking Sky Moore. That would be the guy that I would want to play against the Lions on Thursday night. Again, if I'm starting a tight end for the Chiefs, I think it's Noah Gray. But yeah, I like McKinnon and Pacheco. And on a one-game slate, if you're playing DFS, maybe even Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a dart throw, as a cheap dart throw. But Sky Moore would be the guy that I would pick if I had to pick a Chiefs pass catcher not named Travis Kelce.
Of course, we will keep a close eye on this.
But it's all dicey.
This situation, and we will be back on tomorrow, hopefully with more of an update on Kelce's status.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.